Okay, I'm getting ready to demonstrate how I scanned these old 8mm films on the RetroScan Universal from Movie Stuff. I've got an old family reel here. I have no idea what's on it. I haven't looked at it before. This is a little 50-foot reel. First thing we gotta do is get this mounted. Now this knob here is reverse threaded, which once you spent 10 minutes like I did one time trying to thread it the wrong way and thought I did something wrong, you'll learn that after a while. Okay, now you're probably going to want to keep it loose. The hardest part about this whole thing is just remembering how to do this. With small reels, you skip this first brass colored reel like so. Film goes underneath there like that. Okay, then it goes over that wheel, under this wheel. I don't know if you can see all of this. Loose out. So you need to know for sure that it goes over the top of these first two silver reels on each side of the film, then down under the next one. If you have a larger reel, it would go around over the top of this, but the smaller reels, you don't do that. And then one of the hardest parts is just handling the film, getting in these slots, get that started. And we're going to see how we do here. Once that's on, this is loosened up. We tighten that down. This is tight. Okay. We need to create a new album. And I don't even know. This was... I can't even read this right now, what it says it is. It's an Oglesby, so we're just going to call it our Oglesby film. I'm going to make a new album here. Let me zoom in on the laptop. Attempt to. I'm shooting this with the Osmo Plus. Okay. And over here we can create a new album. We can give the album title. Get 1958 default drive. Okay. So now we can double tap that to go into it. You can see the film now is in the scanner. We need to set the software for preview and live. Actually, you've got to check live first, then preview. And I'll show you what that does in a second. So now let's go ahead and start the film. There we go. Now we can adjust framing. When I get to a part that looks like something good to focus on, I'm going to stop it and show you the new feature in the software that sure made it easier to focus on things. I like to get something that's like a billboard or a sign. It's pretty underexposed here. We have to adjust the sensitivity of the sensor. So far it doesn't look real interesting, does it? But anyway, this looks like it might be Boulder Dam back in 1959. We're going to turn it off there. In the back there's a switch to flip it from film to slide, and what that does is I you can now focus it without the film moving, which makes it a lot easier. Now, first time I'm going to do the coarse. Looks pretty good. And then we got fine adjustment here. Just the coarse again. Just the fine focus. I think that looks pretty good. We'll lock that focus ring down. Flip it back to film. Turn it off. Flip back to film. Now let's just take a quick look at this. Nice little cars in there. That's my Uncle Edwin there. Looks like they used to go uranium prospecting. I think that's what they're doing here. Adjusting the sensor. When the film goes to overexpose the light, that sensor needs to be adjusted, which adjusts the sensor light here, these purple lights. I like to kind of go through the film once. You know, that adjusts so it doesn't get out of frame, that sensor, so that the sensor picks up the perforation holes in the film to tell the camera when to chew the picture and to make sure that it monitors the speed as the holes go by to keep the speed constant. So a lot of times, sometimes you don't have any trouble with film consistent, and looks like the focus is pretty good on there now. Lovely little cars here. Let me zoom in on the laptop again. You can kind of see the live preview. You're seeing it as it's being scanned. Oh, looks like some drag racing here. Remember, this is back when it was at 1958, I believe. And I'm pretty sure these are in Phoenix, Arizona, or in the Phoenix area in Arizona. This is where it takes a little practice with the RetroScan unit, just getting the sensor setting right for the particular film you're scanning. There's a green light here, but when you can't see it right now, let me zoom out. This green light right here flashes as it's seeing the holes. I see here it's slowing down. Oh, end of the film. Okay, well, we're going to rewind this. And the way you rewind this is you leave this nut loose, keep your finger in it because otherwise it'll spin and tighten up. Keep your fingers on the reel while a little tension, and we'll wind it back up and we'll start this again. See if we can get this adjusted properly. So now, got that. Okay, we'll try and see what we got here yet. Top to silver, underneath, over. Okay. And we're trying to get this sensor setting right. This is where the sensor has trouble. When I throw light to the edges, it shines through the film and I'm trying to find a happy medium there. where the overexposed parts of the film. Hopefully that will be pretty good to kind of go to the extremes on the sensor to find out when it's not flickering real nice and clear. And then back off the other way and trying to find a happy medium there. And just keep tweaking the sensor, adjusting the framing. So hopefully we find a sweet spot here. This is would take some practice with the RetroScan. It's a little bit of work to do that, but the results are well worth it. And I'm by no means an expert at this either. It's relatively new to me. So I keep learning every time I use it. But that sensor that we're adjusting is these ultraviolet lights here. You probably can't see them very well in the video, but they shine through the holes in the film, and like I said before, they tell the camera when to fire, the frame is lined up, and it also monitors the speed, and these motors will adjust, as the motor in each reel adjusts the speed to make sure it's going through at the right speed and adjust the motors. So it's important to get a good sensor setting. Oh, we're done. Okay, we're going to try this again. See if we get the syncing up right. Okay, got it about as good as we're going to get it. Rewind this film back to the start, and I'm going to do a final scan. Focus used to be a hard thing, but the new ability to focus it on a single frame, which you didn't have that before, just makes a world of difference for focusing. Okay, so now we take this out of preview mode, and we're going to go and hit start on the system yet, and then we're going to turn it on while we are actually scanning. And I'm sure I'm going to have some framing issues. Fingers crossed. Looks pretty good so far. This is scanning at approximately 15 frames per second. It scans into a proprietary format, and that exports to multiple choices. Let me zoom in on the screen as much as I can so you can kind of see what's going on here. So it's recording this now. This 8mm films generally were shot at 16 frames per second. This is scanning 15 frames per second. So you're seeing it almost in real time. Actually, we got the framing down pretty good here, it looks like. Keep my fingers crossed. That's my uncle. Uncle and I think my uncle's father-in-law used to go out uranium hunting in the late 50s. The government used to pay people if they could find the high enough grade of uranium. They never did. They found some low grade, not enough that the government wanted to buy it. I think that was actually me in that film. Yeah. We'll have to try and correct the overexposure here in Final Cut Pro once we get this scanned. Boy, it looks like we pretty well nailed the sensor setting. Looking pretty good. But basically you can see a scanner there going while it's scanning. The normal room light here, and you don't have to worry about having it in a dark room or anything. So anyway, this is the process I use. Once this is done, I will export it out to a .movie file, and then once that is exported, I transfer that over to my iMac, which I use for editing with Final Cut Pro 10. Do the editing and prepare it for uploading to YouTube. Once you get that sensor set, it's basically sit back and watch. And like I say, this film was difficult. I just happened to grab one. And a lot of light, overexposed area, then more normally exposed, and those are the hardest ones to get the sensor right. But you can get it, as you can see. Looks like I got it pretty rock solid. Haven't had any major framing issues, so I'm happy with this. Film finished scanning, and I accepted the scan, and now what we do now is we go ahead and put it, there's a button here to go into the view, and this is where you do your exports. You can view the film here also. You can set the frames per second that the film was shot at, which in this case is 16. And then we hit export. Here's the one we just did. Oglesby, we're going to check that. Capture aspect ratio. Capture it in 4:3. Export to a video type. We want to export it to 1080p 16:9. 1080p 4:3. Layout of capture within export frame. Capture within export frame looks good. We want to do this at 16 frames a second. After, this is really going to come out at 1440 by 1080. And we've got it checked, so now we can say export now. And we'll export the one that's checked with the settings we've got. And that's exporting it to the internal hard drive in this machine. I will continue on once the film is exported. Okay, the film is just about done exporting here. Now I've hooked up my little portable Western Digital My Passport Wireless Pro, which is a great unit. I'll have to do a review on that. But what I'm doing is it's exporting to the internal drive of the laptop. I will then copy it over to this external drive, and then I'll plug this external drive into my iMac. Transfer it to my Drobo system where I keep all my video files, and then I will do my editing. So this is done. Alright, this has been a demonstration of how I use the RetroScan Universal and how it works. If Roger watches this, the guy who invented this machine, I hope I'm doing everything correctly. I know I need a lot more practice yet, but thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, please like, subscribe, and we encourage you to comment. Thank you very much.